Do. I see levels. That means audio. Need that. And that should work.
Gotcha.
And now they're seeing this.
I'm tracking. Still think we need to do something about the music because it goes from dun 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 to, and it
didn't this morning, so that's what we can do about that.
And stop.
It's an extra step.
Anyhow, how you doing this morning?
I'm not too shabby.
I
was a little sunburned. Now it's starting to fade. I may be a BIPOC now.
No, you're not. And even if you were, you wouldn't want to be.
Dude, if Luke Radowski's a BIPOC.
Dude, come on. Even if you were, you wouldn't want to be.
That's fair.
I could see you just refusing to use that language. I gotta tell you, man.
Really, everything was. Oh. Okay.
I didn't do it that time. I didn't do it. Well, while you're fixing that, I gotta tell you, I'm glad you're back because while it's fun being able to do whatever I want, man, it's a lot more work too. I really felt like I struggled on the Thursday show. Like I figured out within the first couple of minutes, I was like, oh yeah, this is so much easier with a co-host.
Oh yeah, I fully understand why people like Crowder pay a producer to push all these buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's worth it.
100%. Alex, you know what I'm talking about.
Because the slightest thing can make you lose your thread, and then you're like, oh God. I had like a list of 5 things I wanted to say, and was I on point 2 or point 3? Did I finish point 2? Shit. Like it's
Oh yeah, speaking of all that, while you're running your mouth, I'll pull this up because I hadn't yet.
So
okay, there it is.
That's it. Yep. So anyhow, War Monday, and we had Crack Shot. I think was first in the chat, then Pit Danny, and then good morning to Willow Bar, James Wilbanks. Diggs BTW 7. Good morning, Megan Anderson Wilbanks. Oh, we've got the full TPS report with us. There's a Danielle. Rock and roll. There's a Danielle Munoz who is doing a Get Healthy vlog now.
She is. Danny's got her new YouTube channel. Y'all definitely go check that out.
And y'all, if you've never seen Danny, like, she looks like 10 years younger than she actually is, and it's just like she's in shape. So yeah, she might know a thing or two about being healthy.
Danny, remind me what's the name of your new channel?
Oh yeah, so that we can link it. But anyhow, so we got them in the chat, and the Fit Life with Danielle. There you go.
That's it.
And okay.
Well, apparently.
Look, we're gonna have to come on, man. So, do. Come on, we can do it.
Yeah, we can do it. And I want to show off. I want to brag about my friend and the work she's doing. And there's Danny's new channel. And I'm going to drop this link in the chat here. And guys, as viewers of our channel, do us a favor, support our friends. Even if what she's doing isn't your cup of tea, the subs help. And it's not enough just to sub. Watch a video every now and then. You never know. She might just say something funny, even if you want to stay fat. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with my gut, but I actually work to stay where I am, because the alternative is, well, the alternative is bad. It's dangerous.
The alternative is being able to run.
I can't do that anymore, and that's got nothing to do with being fat. Well, not much. Anyway, what we're talking about this morning, I don't even have this one pulled up as a thing on the computer, because it came in the mail. And what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, a flyer. I hope y'all got this. I hope y'all got one of these. Planet Stacey, boldly going where California and New York have gone before. This is master tier trolling.
Yeah, it's simultaneously total boomer tier, and yet it is creme de la creme.
It's total boomer tier, but it's delivered. It's a physical object. Right? You don't just scroll past this on your Facebook, right? You don't just swipe
even
past
if all you
this
do
on
is
your
take
Instagram.
it directly from the mailbox and throw it away, you still have to hold it in your hand, and you're gonna observe certain things about it. Like it's gonna
Biden's
happen.
Spock years. That's brilliant. And okay, so this is paid for by Georgians First Leadership Committee, and we're just gonna have to get in touch with these people and have a conversation with them. I did reach out to them, but I haven't heard back yet, because I don't know about you, but I was at the beach all week.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I was at the show.
I know.
I was doing the show.
Well done, by the way. Well done.
Yeah, I feel like Friday was well done. Thursday was a wake-up call.
Danny says, waiting on mine. Kemp isn't smart enough to send this out. Yeah, and this is exactly the kind of psychological warfare that I would absolutely jump on the chance to conduct for one of our local politicians. So Stacey Abrams said Georgia is the worst state to live in and wants to make us radically liberal like California, Illinois, and New York. If Abrams is elected governor, here's what that means for Georgia. Okay, and before I don't even need to read. Well, okay, so job killing, taxes, and welfare, runaway inflation and spending, rampant crime and violence. These aren't, okay. It used to be that every election was the most important election ever, and if the other guy won, then all kinds of terrible things were going to happen. And it was just kind of, that was all hyperbole and potentially just slippery slope and all that stuff. Except, here's the thing. We now know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, what it means for people like this to be in office. We know that it means in California, you're being forced to switch over to electric cars by government policies, and then being told you're not allowed to charge the electric car because your electrical infrastructure isn't sufficient to power everybody charging their electric car. Guys, one of the things we've talked about on this show, I love the electric car technology. I love the idea of it. we're not there. The thing about the electric car technology, as cool as it sounds in theory, and I'll give it to you. I mean, Teslas are cool. I mean, I can get an app on my Tesla that turns the passenger seat into a whoopee cushion.
I know,
brother. You have my attention. I do have that sense of humor, right? And then of course there's the, oh wait a minute, I don't have to stop for gas ever. I just plug the thing in and charge it at home overnight. Oh, but wait, it can't hold enough charge for me to do my job in the car if I have to drive more than 400 or 500 miles, which, being somebody that drives a lot for work, that's actually a thing that happens to me often. But you know, there's a lot of good to be said about the idea of the electric cars. But the fact is, if we all suddenly if we could wave the magic wand and bippity boppity Tesla, everybody's got an electric car, then nobody's got electricity, right? But then you can look at New York and California, who are they have these Soros-backed prosecutors who are refusing to prosecute even murderers in many cases, and then cashless bail. They're just throwing people out. You know, you do the crime and you don't do the time, and we're seeing crime, serious crime, and violent crime spiking dramatically everywhere these people are in charge. That's not speculation anymore. Right? That's not a hyperbolic warning that the future will be apocalyptically awful because you want to scare people into voting. No. The evidence is there. It is absolutely the case that a person like this, a person like Stacey Abrams, she is the Kool-Aid man, and she's here to kick down the Constitution.
Well, she's the Kool-Aid Zer.
Kool-Aid ma'am.
Something like that. And look, you know what? I just wanted to, I'll make this quick. I just wanted to interject. I think you could get rid of cash bail entirely if you simultaneously got rid of all gun laws.
Agreed. It would also help to put in an express lane in the death penalty.
Don't divert us. It's a Me More Monday. Can't have that argument right now.
Maul with the hungry hippo joke. Oh.
Well, no. There's a second layer to it too. That's one of those things where the left uses the cash bail argument, and there is actually an argument to be had there, but they use it in bad faith. Mm-hmm. It is a system that has a tendency to target people that don't have the financial means. Like, let's say, rightly, wrongly, whatever, you get accused of a violent crime. All right, here in Georgia, your bond is going to be a minimum of $10,000.
Right.
And you've either got to pay the whole $10,000, pay 10% of it plus some kind of a fee, or put up a piece of property that's worth $10,000. Like that's what those are your options. And if you're a legit ass single parent just trying to work and pay their bills, and you're literally only 1 or 2 paychecks away from getting thrown out of your house, you don't have that kind of money laying around.
Nope.
Which also means you can't get out and work and hire a lawyer and do all the other things. You're completely at the mercy of the system. So now look, the left uses the argument with the cash bail system to inject race and politics and all this garbage into it. They're not actually doing a critical analysis of the criminal justice system. Let me be clear.
Right.
Okay. I'm just saying that there are things there to discuss and look at.
Because I've never heard any of these "the system is broken" lefties spend any time talking about how, oh, wait a minute, public defenders are paid more if they lose? Wait. I'm sorry, what? That's a whole other rabbit hole, but yeah, no public defender should ever be allowed to continue on the bar. That's a whole rabbit hole that we're not going to go down. But you're absolutely right. It's never about what they say it's about. It's always just a mechanism to artificially create a supply of racism because they have gone so hard on their marketing campaigns to generate a demand for that product. And so they have to work overtime to produce a resource that doesn't exist. Now, in fairness, supply side economics give us a reasonable explanation as to why they create that artificial demand for a product that doesn't exist. And that is that scarcity is value. Oh, it's something that was almost metaphysically unavoidable, assuming that there's such a thing as a human with corrupt motivation.
You mean like Stacey Abrams?
You know, speaking of corrupt motivations, Stacey Abrams lost an election and refused to accept the results of that election. In fact, as much as 3 years after she lost the gubernatorial election in 2016, she was still being asked if she would concede and actively refusing to concede while asserting that the election was stolen from her. I'd like to point this out. This is not exactly breaking news. This is from December 1st of 2020.
Almost 2 years ago.
So Stacey Abrams founded group with Senate hopeful Warnock under investigation. They were being investigated, and Warnock was the CEO or some kind of chief at the organization called Georgia's. Which one is this? This is it was one of the several groups that Abrams ran that has been investigated for conducting voter fraud. Like the group is being actively investigated for having conducted voter fraud. This was the Georgia something or other. I forget the name of this one, but this is from December 2020, and
this is one of those cute Stacey Abrams things.
Because I don't want to spend the whole show going down the long tirade of her constantly being investigated for voter fraud, we'll just go back to this other one from 2014. Stacey Abrams investigated for voter fraud. And again, the New Georgia Project. These two are the same organization, but she's been involved with at least 3 or 4 different ones. We did a whole show on the several instances of Stacey Abrams being investigated for voter fraud. And then, of course, we go back to the 2021 runoff, and you have Georgia Judge Stacey Abrams' sister rules against voter purge before Senate runoffs. This is the runoff where Warnock won. And we've talked a lot about the agent provocateur damage that was done here by Lynn Wood and
Sidney
Powell, who were obvious agents of the left, who spun this beautiful fantasy about complex foreign interference and convinced a bunch of dummies that you can win an election by sitting it out, and basically handed 2 Senate seats to the Democrats in Georgia. 2 Senate seats which they had no chance of winning at the time until a couple of liars from Washington managed to convince a bunch of Georgia Republicans that the best way to voice their displeasure was by boycotting an election. And that was one of the most transparent and grotesque instances of black propaganda I have ever personally witnessed in my long career of psychological warfare. Okay? So.
It wasn't obvious at the time, though. I think that's pretty clear.
I think it was obvious at the time. And I think it was obvious at the time because at the time I said repeatedly that that's what was happening.
Just because it was obvious to you doesn't mean it was generally obvious. Those are two different things.
Fair enough.
There are a lot of people that got sucked into it. There are a lot of people that I would describe as intelligent that got sucked into it. What is the point? I'll just stay home.
Yeah, and
a demoralization campaign. That's one reason why I resist the black pill so hard. The left wants you demoralized. They want you to stop trying.
Correct. And so, in all fairness, I'll say this. When Sidney Powell first said that she had the magic bullet, I was excited by the prospect, but we discussed it on this show and said that it was unlikely that she had that she did in fact have the magic bullet. And then she said that the magic bullet, this Kraken thing, then she said that it was going to have to do with Russian interference. And at that time, we like almost immediately were like, nope.
Wait,
this is bullshit.
We're back to Russian interference?
This is a lie.
Look, it's yeah. Yeah, your mom sums it up very well. It was very obvious. If you don't vote, your vote doesn't count. That is absolutely correct. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yep. And we didn't just talk about that on this show. Like, I would just walk up to people on the street and say, listen, if you don't vote, you didn't vote. The math really is exactly that simple.
Right. Anyhow, so
now let's dig into some memes. Let's get off of Stacey.
Meme More Monday.
I mean, it's a long walk to get off of Stacey.
I was about to say that's, ooh, brother, but
I think we could roll over 5 or 6 times and do one good push-up.
It took me so long to get up here. I'm gonna at least plant a flag or something, man.
Hang up all the spelunking gear. Moving on. Yes, we can meme. This isn't a meme.
Yes, it is.
No. It's actually a book.
No, see, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about effective memeing. We've talked about this before. It has to be based. It has to be based in a piece of truth that can be distilled and disseminated quite simply. And I saw this being advertised somewhere, and I died. Oh my God.
Ma says I sent you both one. What do you mean, Ma?
She sent us a meme. I heard the beep, but...
Oh, okay. But not a copy of this book.
No.
Because that would have been hilarious. And I may actually just go ahead and buy a copy of this book. This book might be pure comedy making fun of the left, or it might be the left. It might be somebody trying to give advice to people on the left on how to make memes. Or it might be a full-throated defense of the mimetic capacity of leftists. And I do not see any way where any one of those 3 possibilities isn't comedy gold.
It could be so cringy that it's hard to laugh at. That could happen.
Fair.
It could... No,
you know
guys,
what? That
really?
settles it. I'm going to order a copy of it, and we will consider it my revenge on your cupiosexual nonsense. Vengeance will be mine.
I don't
Say
see
it
how
for
this
$6.99.
I don't see how it could be cringier than that. But
I agree.
Let's keep rolling.
Okay, you get this.
1909. We are allowed to study now. I wonder what the future will bring. 1919. We're allowed to vote now. I wonder what the future will bring. 1977. We can work without our husband's permission now. I wonder what the future will bring. 2022. Define woman. I have no clue. Typically, and I'd say that this is actually a right-wing meme. I deliberately included some weaker right-wing memes on purpose just to make the point that the point of this meme is solid, but it's a bit wordy. It's right on the edge, because at the beginning of the last century, there were women that were worried, that were like, no, look, we actually have a good thing going. We should actually just know our role in society, because being a woman is special. It's why men fight over us, right?
Right, before the 19th Amendment was passed. And there was a group of women when the suffragettes were fighting for the right to vote who argued, they weren't interested. They didn't want the right to vote. They didn't want it because they assumed, and turns out they were mistaken, but they assumed that having a right came with a responsibility. The fact is, rights only come with related responsibilities if you're a man. Women were able to secure the vote without having to be pulled into the draft or do bucket brigade or take up arms to defend their country. They didn't have to adopt any of the additional responsibilities that they were afraid that they would have to adopt by assuming the right to vote. And there was a name for the women that opposed it, right? You had the suffragettes who were for the voting rights.
Mm-hmm.
And then, do you know what the other women were called? The vast majority.
Well played. Well played. See, and now, of course, we have a woman sitting on the Supreme Court that cannot define woman. She will almost certainly be asked to rule on legislation in which the definition of male and female is germane to the constitutionality of that legislation. But she herself cannot even hazard an opinion on what a woman is.
Crackshot says females got the vote and immediately passed prohibition. Incorrect. Prohibition was the 18th Amendment. Females got the vote with the 19th. It was, however, women that pushed men to use their voting power to create the 18th Amendment.
And it was a mistake. Anyhow,
but the 18th Amendment was not the biggest mistake we've ever made in this country. And I see what you've got for this next one. I think we're gonna... Oh, it's the other one. Okay. So this is the conservative version of this stupid sign. We could do a whole episode just on the leftist version of this sign, and we should, and I've meant to, and we keep having other stuff to talk about.
Look, this is nothing but outside of basically trolling leftists. This doesn't have a lot of value, and it's not to say that trolling leftists doesn't have value, but nobody's impressed, right? Like,
right.
We get a chuckle out of this, but when you put that in your yard and you're putting the real version of the sign in your yard, you're proud and you're doing the right thing and you're on the right side of history.
Right, it's like wearing a mask.
God,
in your car by yourself.
Stop wearing a mask. Like when 19 out of 20 people are no longer wearing masks, just stop. Anyhow.
No. Wear your mask.
So I can identify.
Hey, did you get your truck stuck? Nope. I was delivering this overpass and broke down. Ran out of gas. Here's your mask. Sign.
Fair enough. Well, that actually reminds me of what Austin Peterson said about how we're at the point now. Oh, no, keep going. The good ones are coming.
Oh, okay. Finish your Austin Peterson.
Where he said that the federal laws against discrimination needed to go. He wants the ability to identify the racist, because if you are so racist, you'd rather not have money and instead be racist. He'd like to contribute to you not having money and allow you to continue to be racist.
I'm actually comfortable with that.
Yes.
Oh God. This is perfect. We were actually talking about this. Why are you so angry the little mermaid is black?
And look, we're people that talked about the mermaid being black, and I'm not angry about it. It's another step, not even the biggest step. It's just another link in the chain about they're only doing this for virtue signal points.
Not just virtue signal points. There's another piece to that equation. There are in fact companies whose job it is to design the addictive qualities, the dopamine hit addictive qualities of video games to keep you playing longer and incentivize you to purchase the sequel.
The video game loop.
Correct. This is the same thing. It is psychological warfare in marketing. They have, the only reason they're making these woke movies is because they have this expectation that the artificially generated outrage
they're doing the fan bait.
Push sales. The only thing that's perplexing is that they keep failing with it. Like, they get sales, but
not enough. Not
nearly the sales that they were getting before they went down the whole rabbit hole of getting woke to go broke. And it blows my mind that they haven't figured that shit out yet. Pitt Danny says that's it. Fan bait. Yeah. That's what we talked about on Tuesday last week, I think, or it was Tuesday or Wednesday.
Well,
we
probably
talked about
Wednesday, because I mean that's what it is. Like, so far, every single one of these remakes has been a pale imitation of the original at best.
Right.
And so now, okay, let's just fan bait.
I haven't seen the Lion King live action remake, but I've been told that the funny thing about it is it's basically a frame by frame remake of the original animated film, just with live action CGI. And I've actually been told that the CGI is so good that the end result is it's just really creepy when the animals talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Next pile.
Next pile.
Yes, friends.
Oh,
the next several memes are going to have a theme.
Okay,
Can you
and I
spot
almost
the
want to
theme?
do another show about, just because it's so late in the day now, I almost want to do a whole nother show about DeSantis
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't
and Martha's Vineyard.
we go through the memes? Only have minimal commentary, and then we'll maybe tomorrow we open up with just the absolute brilliance of this move.
Bring back Taco Tuesday.
Yes.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm with it. I'm with you. Okay. 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 I almost shit it a little. Get all enriched by diversity.
It's their strength.
Yeah, that's their strength. Die. Diversity, inclusion, and equity. Die. Diversity, inclusion, and equity. The O'Closkeys.
I mean, yep. Oh. Yes.
Like, dude, whoever did this Photoshop, that look on Big Mike's face right there is just priceless. I mean, honestly, the only large inaccuracy in this is the the gender of the two characters.
Yeah. There.
And you know what, AOC, you will never live this one down. Even your coming out as a hardcore racist who was afraid of being involved in an interracial relationship will not make us forget fake crying in front of the empty border face. Yes.
Alex. Martha's Vineyard leads the nation with a 100% deportation. Hey, so the liberals proved that you can, in fact, just put them all on a bus and send them somewhere else. In fact, didn't a bunch of them get sent to a military base for processing? So you're saying it's possible to just
put them on a bus?
And send them to a military base?
I'm telling you, man, we solved the whole problem with a couple of fences and signposts. Minefield. Don't even have to put actual mines there.
There's yeah, it's dark.
Oh,
And then the last two are individual, because yeah.
Okay, quite literally headed a human trafficking operation to the tune of $12 million of taxpayer money to do so. Absolutely wild. If anyone here still wants that guy to become the president. Okay. I'm going to address this very briefly. And we'll talk about it more tomorrow, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a Taco Tuesday tomorrow. So we'll call this a little teaser.
Just tease. Just show.
Newsom accuses DeSantis of kidnapping migrants. I want you to take a moment and remember that it was less than a year ago Joe Biden moved massive illegal immigration and tries to hide it with secret flights. The Biden administration got caught literally sneaking illegal immigrants into other people's states in the middle of the night. Thousands of them.
All right, and then the very last one, since we're talking about Star
George
Trek.
Takei, you could always rely on Sulu
Sulu
for the
Oh my.
for the worst takes. Oh my.
As a child, I was put on a train and sent off by the government to a faraway place by Democrats we'd never heard of. Oh. Not Martha's Vineyard, huh? Actual concentration camps. As a survivor of that policy, I'm appalled by what the governors in Texas or Florida are doing now. But George, what about Biden?
What about Obama?
Yeah, politicians back then treated us as political scapegoats.
How did Representative Brotherfucker get elected?
That's not where I thought you were going with that. Oh my. Indeed.
But that's exactly how they got her elected, is they just moved a bunch of Somalis into her territory.
Yeah, and
in fairness, it wasn't so much a concentration camp as they just came in and said, hey, you look like you need a refugee camp.
Here you go.
Because you've got a Somali brotherfucker running for office.
Here's the thing, okay? What's so disingenuous about this is if you think sending people to Martha's fucking Vineyard is the same thing as a concentration camp, God, I'm a free speech absolutist, but I'm almost on the edge of saying that you're too stupid to be allowed to talk in public. Like,
and right, and so here's why free speech absolutism is absolute. I want people like George Takei to say things like this, right? He makes an important case here. And the case that he makes here is you're voting for people who don't know what words mean. Now, unfortunately, the facts on the ground are these. Our public education system is so grotesquely inadequate that, unfortunately, a large majority of our population are illiterate. They can read the menu at McDonald's, but they couldn't get through War and Peace, let alone Das Kapital or Sickness Unto Death, anything of importance to understand what they're arguing about.
Actually, I would amend that ever so slightly. I would say that your government education makes you precisely adequate.
Ouch. That's terrifyingly,
I think that's rather accurate.
the case. Okay. And yep, that's
hey, one other thing, I'm just going to throw some salt on it. I honest to God hope William Shatner outlives George Takei just so he gets the final. Hey, Georgie boy, one of the two of you has been to actual space.
Oh! Oh! Yep, one of you's been to space and the other one rode a rocket. That's all we got for you today. Be safe, we love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.